If you've owned a garden hose for more than a couple of seasons, you've probably experienced this moment. You turn the tap on, water starts spraying everywhere, but not where you want it to. And almost always it fails in the same places. Today, we're gonna break down why most garden hoses fail, what's actually happening from a design and engineering standpoint, and how a few thoughtful decisions can completely change how long a hose lasts. This isn't about hype or features. It's about understanding what's really going on beneath the surface. Let's start with the obvious question. Why do hoses always seem to break in the same spots? The short answer? Because those spots are under the most stress and they're often the most poorly designed. The most common failure happens right at the connection. This is where the hose meets the fitting. That's because threads get over-tightened, washers and O-rings wear out, and crimped connections loosen over time. Once those points fail, the hose is done. And in mass market hoses, these fittings are often where manufacturers cut those corners. Kinking. This happens when a hose is bent beyond its minimum bend radius. If the wall of the hose is too thin or the internal structure isn't strong enough, it collapses on itself. Over time, this pushes the material to fatigue, which causes it to weaken and eventually split. Abrasion. Hoses live a hard life. They get dragged across concrete, stone, decking, and even gravel. If the outer wall isn't designed to resist abrasion, you're slowly wearing through the hose every time you move it. A lot of hoses are packaged to look good on a shelf. Bright colors and bold claims like Ultra Flex or Never Kinks. But good design isn't about promises, it's about performance. So what does good design actually look like? Thick hose wall, kink-resistant structure, non-marking exterior, and performance across extreme temperatures. After years of testing and prototyping, we released our hoses, which are built to operate from minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit to 149 degrees. Because a product that only works in perfect conditions isn't actually well designed. Now let's talk materials, because this is where most of the confusion comes from. Vinyl hoses. They're lightweight, flexible, UV resistant, and cheaper to produce. But that lightweight flexibility comes at a cost. Vinyl typically has thin walls, which makes it far more prone to kinking and cracking over time, which results in early failure. They feel nice right out of the box, and then disappoint you later. Rubber hoses. They're heavier, more durable, resistant to chemicals, and have a high tear strength. And here's the important part. That slight rigidity people complain about, that's actually what makes rubber hoses kink resistant. Single material polyurethane hoses try to strike a balance, and some do a decent job, but they often compromise that longevity for weight or cost. Multi-layered polymer hoses, they allow for a thicker wall, multi-layer construction, and more structural integrity under pressure. They also allow for superior abrasion resistance. Let's not forget to mention that they provide better flexibility than rubber and are about half as light. These hoses are the gold standard for use in construction and heavy industrial applications. Yeah, they cost more, but they last significantly longer, which means you're not buying a new hose every couple of years. So what is the best material? Well, from a design standpoint, multi-layered polymer hoses win every time. Some of the most important design decisions in a hose are the ones you never notice until something fails. This is where quality really shows. We use all lead-free cast brass for the fittings, drinking water safe of course, brass crimped connections, and high-quality rubber seals. Why brass? Because it resists corrosion, maintains thread integrity, and handles repeated tightening without deforming. Why do these mass market hoses skip those details? Well, put simply, to lower manufacturing costs, speed up assembly, and gain higher margins. But the small savings here lead to those big failures later. At Goodland, nothing ships unless it meets our internal standards. And for every product you see, there are several that never made it to the market. We're not afraid to kill a product if it doesn't live up to our design philosophy. Choosing the right hose length can be surprisingly tricky, and getting it wrong often leads to frustration. When you measure, it's not just the straight line distance that matters. There's usually a drop from the hose bib and a rise back up to where you're holding it. So we recommend adding 6 feet to account for that. Next, remember, hoses almost never run in a straight line. They wrap around corners, they pass planters, avoiding obstacles along the way. So to account for this, we suggest adding 20% to the total distance. So here's the breakdown. If the distance you need is 8 feet, Add 6 feet for the drop and the rise, then add 20% for avoiding obstacles. That brings you to roughly 17 feet. In this case, a 25-foot hose gives you enough reach without excess slack, which means easier handling, less kinking, and a better overall experience. So to recap, how do we choose the right garden hose? Forget the marketing. Focus on material, phthalate-free polymers over vinyl or rubber, increased wall thickness, multi-layer construction, and lead-free brass fittings versus plastic, and quality crimped connections. Choosing the right length. Measure your run, add the 6 feet for the drop and rise, plus 20% for bends and obstacles. And if you do come up short, you can always add another length at the end. When in doubt, size up slightly. A bit of extra length prevents kinks and frustration. And if you've ever felt like hoses feel disposable, it's because they're designed to be. They're mass manufactured for packaging appeal and price, not longevity. A well-designed hose should feel like a tool, not a consumable. Good design isn't loud, it's intentional. And when it's done right, you don't think about it at all, which is exactly the point. If this breakdown was helpful, let us know what product you'd like us to tear apart next.